And away we go. Welcome. Welcome, boys and girls.
That's good.
It's back in the day. This is where Uncle Ruffy and Uncle Koopy are going to tell you a scary fire story.
We're going to tuck you in.
Grab your drinks. We're going to talk scary fire stories.
Put your footy pajamas on.
It's the Great Fire, New York Fire of 1835, boys and girls. Of course, this is the Getting Salty Experience podcast. It's the only show where you guys and we guys get to sit around the kitchen table. We bring the Firehouse kitchen table to you, boys and girls. As always, I'm joined by Ruffy Ruffrano, Lieutenant Ruffrano, 100 tree truck, 290 engine, squad company 288, ladder 117.
What's up?
Proby Pete wearing the Bronx Bench shirt today.
You finally got a free shirt, huh? You finally gave him something?
Yep. I'm just trying to get over all the freedom I experienced this past weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Nice.
And this is the first time in 3 days I've seen Pete sober. So
I can feel my face.
And listen, and you don't know it, but when Pete drinks, he has no idea. Remember when he thought that his microphone was shut off and he was screaming? Well, Pete's volume goes up to about 10, and he's talking on the beach really loud like this.
No.
Me and my wife like this.
Really? Oh, yeah. Things you learn about yourself. I get hammered.
And here's a little apology from Coops. Of course, I'm going to go with my old school tip of the day. And my old school tip of the day is don't drink a half a bottle of whiskey while you're on the podcast, boys and girls. Because otherwise you get the stare and the drool on your face like this. And that was me, bro.
Right here.
Half a bottle of whiskey during a podcast is the old skip of the day. Don't do it.
Jesus.
All right, Pete. What are we brought to you by? Go.
Oh, well, you know what, guys.
Sleepy Coops.
You know the deal. We are brought to you by GettingSaltyApparel.com. That's the only place where you get fire T-shirts like this, the Bronx Ben T-shirt. We all learned what the Bronx Ben was when we had Hashi on recently. Thank you very much. You get your hats. You get cigar cutters, lighters. I'm still waiting on my toiletry bag, Kubies. I need that thing.
Danny.
There's Billy Belinsky. Did you talk to him about what we talked about, that thing?
No, I got to talk to you. Will, I'm going to shoot you a little side DM. But anyway, guys, GettingSaltyApparel.com. That's where you find us. You know what to do. Head on over to support. All right.
Yeah, yes, that was all the great drapes of 1835. I think you found them somewhere back in the day. All right, so guys, feel free to jump in because we just researched this. We're not no Paul Hashhagen. We're just going to shoot the shit here on a very scary. It was a cold December night in 1835.
It was December 19th, as a matter of fact.
All the research that I did,
December 16th, 1835.
Oh, I thought it was the 19th. Okay,
no,
my bad.
Everyone starts off with that scenario, like a cold and windy,
It wasn't cold and windy.
0 temperature.
Yeah. Somebody's asking for the lighter here, bro. It's not out yet. Somebody was just asking for it. It's coming. It's on its way. It's coming. Along with your cigarettes.
All right, let's go.
All right. It was so goddamn cold that the East River was frozen. So you know how cold it's got to be for the whole East River to be frozen, bro? Cold. So basically what happens is, do we know how that started, Ruffy? I don't even think.
No,
they don't know how it started.
No, just the again. I'll start if you want. I got this whole thing kind of here. We were talking about it a little bit before. I think Pete just looked it up, but. On the evening of December 16th, the temperature was falling rapidly. High winds blew across downtown Manhattan. At around 9 p.m., this is great, the night watchman, William Hayes, was patrolling the financial district.
Now, you might be saying to yourself,
what the hell is a freaking night watchman?
What is a night watchman?
Well,
go with it, Pete.
Apparently,
we said night watchman.
The first form of societal protection in the United States was based on practices developed in England. The city of Boston was the first settlement in the 13 colonies to establish a night watch in 1631. And then in New York in 1633.
All right. So, even
yeah.
100 years before these guys.
So I think in New York, the police might have replaced the night watchman in 1845, but it doesn't say that specifically here. But yeah, they were like pre-police. They weren't quite police, and they weren't quite citizens.
I think that what they're saying was that the night watchman was first due at Pete's Old Lady's box. But I'm just it's true. I heard that.
I was figuring how long I was going to take.
You know, Chief Steve was working that night. We should have really had.
What did you say before, Coop? You said he was something else. What did you say he was? That was
like the hall monitor. I mean, that's what a night watchman is, right? He's got a hall monitor.
Right.
He had a key. You remember those keys that open up the boxes back in the day? And there was a key inside that, and that was the key to Pete's Old Lady's box. It was the key.
It was the key to a key.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So this Paul Bassett is patrolling his financial. He's doing the financial
downtown.
He starts to smell some smoke. He comes to the intersection at Exchange and Pearl Street, and he discovers the source of the smoke, which is a large warehouse located dangerously close to some of New York's most prominent commercial buildings. Is that what you have on that one there? Do you have anything different?
I don't have that much. It says here. Basically saying that the whole financial district, Amorta, 17 square blocks, Amorta.
Yeah, don't speed. So now we got, so this guy says he's got this commercial building. Other nearby patrolmen, so if you only thought there was one, you would be incorrect, quickly joined Hayes within minutes. Engine Company 1 had also arrived. So they were already, Pete, we have that picture of the guy with the, like.
I have a little fun fact, bro. I got a little fun fact on my sheet. Oh, there's a night watchman. They were saying that a whole shitload of turpentine leaked out of one of these commercial buildings and rolled across the river, followed by fire. So it looked like the East River itself was on fire, bro, like a sheet of turpentine.
No shit.
Going across the East River. Woo! I would like to see that, bro. Yep.
So this is really where it gets way out of control. So by the time this guy finds it, Engine Company 1 responds. Again, this is not the FDNY. This is the Metropolitan, or maybe it's the freaking Plug Uglies. I don't even know who's responding at this time. But the fire was basically still contained in the warehouse, but within 20 minutes, because of the winds, it says here 50 buildings had caught on fire due to the high winds. 5-0.
No, there weren't many tall. Somebody asked about tall buildings. There weren't a lot of tall buildings back then. The city was actually built from downtown up. So downtown, as they built up, the wealth went uptown. And shall we say, the riffraff stayed downtown, like the 5 Points. So if you ever saw the gangs of New York, that was all true. There was no organized. Part of the problem was there was no organized fire department back then. It was a bunch of gangs, or clubs who would fight each other because the company that put the fire out got paid from the insurance company. So there would be fist fights, brawls. They would sabotage. They would sabotage each other's other equipment and rigs, to get in there first. And when I got there, they basically would put the fire out and loot your house at the same time. So they were basically glorified looters that got paid by the insurance company.
What were some of the names of those groups?
The name of the original 7 gangs of New York: the 40 Thieves, the Bowery Boys, the Dead Rabbits, which we have a shirt called the Dead Rabbits. Thank you. The Daybreak Boys, the YOs, the 5 Points Gang, and the Eastman Gang. Now we have the Plug Ugly. I think there were a couple of other ones, but these were the 7 main original gangs of New York pre-1900, like the 1920s, and the Little Rascals. Yes, and Little Rascals and Stymie. Was another one. Somebody asked about the Little Rascals in there. Yep. Plug Uglies, Jose Martinez says. So those were the original gangs. So what happens is I have my father was a fireman. You guys know that. He was also a plumber. So he was in the Brooklyn working in a basement, and he found, let's see if anybody knows what these are, fire markers. Anybody in the room know what a fire marker is, Pete? Throw it out there. A fire marker.
Fire marker. That would be that would be so that we would know which homes were insured or not.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the guys in the chat, Pete.
Oh, well, you just asked them. You threw it out into the room.
An insurance tag, Dan Wilson said.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he found a couple of originals, which I've been restoring, and here are some of them right now. So here's one neat little, they're made out of cast iron.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Yes. There's another. Wow. Germantown Mutual Fire, 1843.
Wow.
And here's another one. UF. If you look at it backwards, it's FU. So whatever you prefer. So what would happen is if they pulled up, when you paid your insurance, you would post this on the outside of your house. So if these volleys or these gangs or these thieves or these
it's upside down
pulled up, oh, there you go. Pulled up to your house and you did not have one of these fire markers, it meant they weren't getting paid by the insurance company. And 99.99% of the time, your house was not being put out. It was burning to the ground. Of course, it was all about.
Or they'd go in and loot you, right?
They would. There was, I think if they put the fire out or they didn't, they were looting your house. So that's basically and that's basically one of the reasons that this fire got so out of hand, because there was no organized fire department. So I'm not a big guy on government. You know, I'm government minimalist. But at this time, I feel it was a great time for the government to get involved and organize a fire department, which they did. Which, thank God. Actually, they had the Brooklyn Fire Department first, right, Ruffy?
Yeah.
Right, and then which turned into
again, it was the Metropolitan Fire Department in Manhattan, and then they joined up together in 1865, and then it kind of progressed from there.
Yeah, July 31st, 1865 is the FDNY's formation date.
The birthday.
Right.
So, all right. So just to kind of figure out where we're at here. So the fire starts. It's already through a couple of buildings, quite a few buildings. Basically, the main issue here is the weather. The winds really, not only did they stoke the flames, but they prevented the firemen from combating the flames. The temperatures had dipped below zero. So you can imagine if it was blowing and it was below zero, what it felt like. The high winds blew the water away from the fire. This is what it says here. Blew away from the fire and into the faces of the firemen. The popular fire chief James Gullick sent numerous engines to the East River for water, but the river was covered with thick ice. The firemen were forced to cut holes in the river to extract the water. Once they secured water, it was of little use as it quickly froze all the hoses. So the firemen resorted to pouring brandy on the engines and into their boots to melt the ice that was everywhere.
Wow, what a waste of brandy.
I was going to say, they better have a lot of brandy. This was another thing that was pretty wild. As the fire raged on, merchants desperately tried to salvage their stock, tossing goods out of the buildings into the streets. Paper swirled in the wind and landed all over the city and even as far away as New Jersey. And then what happened was the embers landed on the papers and started fires all over the place. So
anybody throwing chickens out the windows?
So
and the overhead of the area, if anyone can recognize this, if you ever tried to park down by Wall Street, it's brutal. But this is
so Hanover Square is there, right? Exchange Place is right there.
Yep, Old Slip and
actually, if you want to see with that, go back to an episode of Gone but Not Forgotten with this guy right here.
Oh,
this little young fella right here.
Which guy is that?
Oh, who's this, Pete? Who's this?
I'm Chief Steve. I'm here to inspect. That better not be beer on your breath. Line up in order. Dress right, dress. Go get a comb. Your hair's a fucking mess. Proper uniform is what I'm here to see. No getting salty shirts. They won't get past me. 'Cause I'm Chief Steve.
Never gets old. It never gets old. Yes, somebody So Tyson said they were sending the truckies down to cut holes in the ice. They were drilling holes in the ice to get water. Ruffy will talk about another reason why this went sideways. But their hose lines were freezing as they were drilling the ice to get to the water, because at that time they would just draft water out of the East River. There was no hydrants, Ruffy, correct?
No, there wasn't.
So this is right. So this is actually what caused the city to take a second look at their water system, both for drinking and for firefighting. And they reconstructed a whole new pipe system. And people actually got to drink fresh water because they had...
Hey, you got some other pictures of downtown.
There was an outbreak of what? Chlorea? Was it Chlorea? Yes.
Yeah, cholera.
Yeah, that too. Diarrhea, cholera. Yeah, that too.
Gonorrhea.
Diarrhea, cholera.
So this thing is basically down in the financial district. It's in Wall Street area. So by 12:30, so this is already a couple of hours, the fire had progressed towards Wall Street and threatened the Merchant Exchange, which was the building made of marble and was basically at that time considered fireproof. It was only 3 stories high. It was 115 feet wide and one of the largest buildings in the city at that time, and was located on the south side of Wall Street. So this was before the New York Stock Exchange, obviously. Inside the main exchange room was a rotunda 70 feet long, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The building, however, was not immune to the fire's destruction. And around 12:30, the building began to smolder. And by 2 a.m., it was engulfed in flames. Having little chance to suppress the fire, Glick ordered the firemen to help the merchants remove their goods from neighboring structures, though it was unclear that where the fire would strike next. The financial and commercial district was completely overcome. Even ships along the pier burned and took on flames. So that's what it says here. So they had volunteers coming. By the time this, was a day or two or whatever, later on in the thing. But just before I move to the next page, they had guys coming here.
From Philly, right?
From Philadelphia. They had people watching this from Brooklyn, from, I guess, the Brooklyn Navy Yard type of thing there.
No, actually, it says here from quote unquote Williamsburg, Long Island, but that would be Brooklyn.
Yeah, that was Brooklyn, right there.
Yeah, right from here. So unbelievable to see. Can you guys imagine? Well, actually, we can. Never mind, because 9/11 was like that. Looking at the smoldering pile from Brooklyn,
from Williamsburg, Long Island, right? Exactly. Yeah. And you know what the fucked up part was? That New York was just getting underway as the biggest.
I read that. That's good.
Yeah, as far as shipping, surpassing Boston and all the other ports, they were becoming the biggest port in the world.
Because the Erie Canal was built up the Hudson. That was built 10 years prior. So then the Hudson River became like the main port for goods north and south. So New York all of a sudden became like a boom town. And, when you look at that map, you could really see there's only a few wood frame structures left in the city. Every once in a while when we drive around doing this stuff, we'll see one of those buildings. You're like, oh my God, look at that building out in the middle of nowhere, but that's what they were, and this fire kind of changed all the fire codes and all that other stuff.
Word. Yep. Yeah, it became America's biggest important port, surpassing the combined trade of Baltimore, Boston, and New Orleans. Shabam! Putting New York on the map, NYC, until we burnt it down.
Well, here. Let me take this out there. Well, no, I mean, it obviously back then you didn't even have the photography, but what we do have here, just to give people a sort of idea, is that famous scene, so they could sort of see in that thing. The scene, ladies and gentlemen, what it might have looked like, and knowing the director, this might have been relatively accurate here.
There you go, hiding the hydrant, but they didn't have a hydrant.
They didn't have a hydrant, so that's fair. That's wrong. All right, so that we learned that, and
also they were after that. I don't know what year they finished. Do you have anything on that, Ruffy? When the aqueducts were finished?
It was it had to have been right after this. So I would say like when the FDNY was formed, probably like 1860s.
Well, here they go having it out to see who's going to put out the fire while the whole fire is raging. Kind of like what it's like to work in Brooklyn.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
With you guys competing for gigs. But there it is. Just kind of point of reference wise, not totally accurate for what we're talking about, but there they go about to loot the building. So that is accurate.
So this is really the best part of the whole freaking story. So obviously they can't get any water on this thing, and the thing is just spreading. It's going to go river to river. So it says here, editor Charles King decided to seek out the mayor, as he wandered the streets in flames, destroyed buildings, abandoned fire equipment, and looters, helping themselves to piles of goods saved from ruin. So that's what the people were doing. They were throwing their stuff in the street, and these people were taking all their stuff. He was basically shocked by the love that he located Mayor Lawrence with several civic leaders as what is today's Exchange Place. King urged the mayor to use his power to blow up private property to curb the further spread of the fire. After much hesitation, the mayor and aldermen decided that it was the right course of action. King and Colonel Robert Temple, an off-duty Army officer, agreed to search for gunpowder. King successfully secured explosives from the Commodore at the Navy Yard, who ordered a few sailors to deliver it by barge from Red Hook. Can you imagine? From Brooklyn to Manhattan. Colonel Temple also retrieved some gunpowder from Governor's Island. So this was like a big to-do. They were getting stuff from pretty far away. It wasn't like right down the block.
Where would you find that evolution today, bro? What books? Lattice 3? I think it's Lattice 3.
Yeah, Lattice 3. And brought it back to Manhattan.
Blowing up private property.
He actually went to Governor's Island himself, the colonel, and brought it back to Manhattan in a tiny rowboat. The gunpowder barge arrived at the foot of Wall Street. King Charles and the mayor soon arrived after. Sometime between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, the mayor called for the former chief general, the U.S. Corps of Army Engineers, Captain James Swift, to identify the buildings that could be demolished to halt the spread of the fire and to supervise the project. A grocery store at 48 Exchange Place near the intersection of Exchange and Broad was chosen. The officials hoped that by destroying this building, they might prevent the fire from jumping Broad Street and moving westward and northward, which would threaten.
Can you imagine that guy, Brian? Can you imagine that guy? Fuck! Why is it got to be my store, right? Like, why is it got to be me, right? Why you got to blow up my grocery store?
Which would threaten the residential neighborhoods near the financial districts at 5 a.m. So this is getting close to the next morning. The powder kegs had been laid and the fuse was ready to be lit. The mayor, still uneasy with his decision, attempted to get the fire chief, Gulick, to set off the explosion. Gulick refused. So the fire chief said, screw that shit, I'm not doing it. So James Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton's son, could you believe it?
Wow.
Lit the fuse, yeah. As hoped, the building exploded, but it unfortunately set the building next to it on fire, 50 Exchange Place.
Oops. Oops.
The building at 52 Exchange Place was also filled with explosives that also exploded and seemed to set the fire going a little bit better than it was. By the end of the night, several more buildings had been intentionally set ablaze, finally depriving the fire of fuel. So what they did was then they just started lighting buildings on fire, like as a fire break, and then, have it go, basically giving up the, like a trench or something like that,
And this is a
rig carries the C4. Anybody out there who carries the C4?
The
roofman carries the C4.
And apparently this is a drawing of what the Bowery Boys looked like right here. Of pretty motley crew right here. I'm wondering, like, okay, so they have the jackets, they have the hats with the front pieces, the helmets with the front pieces, but probably leather hats, right? So what's the
I don't know if did they have them at that time? I guess they did.
I guess they did. I'm pulling it off of Great Fire of 1835 Archives, the Bowery Boys, New York City History. So I can probably pull up some info on that. But what are those horns that they have in their hands there? I guess that would be horns, right? Just to
Like a microphone.
yeah, like a megaphone, but
Oh, megaphones to talk. Yeah, they didn't have radios back then. You know, no, all back up over. It was like
Take the windows.
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. What? There was another map, Pete. Where's the bigger map of the full?
I gotcha. This one?
Yeah, I think that was the one.
Yeah, somebody was saying that the hats were made of tin back there. Some of them.
Oh, really?
Yep.
A speaking trumpet. Speaking trumpets, they're saying. Those are speaking trumpets, guys. This is awesome.
Dude, that's why I love our audience, bro. Everybody is a fire nerd. Everybody. Oh, Patty Lee had a handy talkie back then. He was giving signals.
Oh, that's Chief Clearhouse. Of course, he knows the answer to that. Yeah, of course, he does.
So is this maybe the bigger map?
Yes, that was the one I was talking about. Yes, that kind of gives you an idea of. I think it was 700 buildings, right, Kev? How many buildings?
700.
Yeah.
700 buildings, like 20 blocks.
Yeah.
I'll give you the whole rundown here. Stand by.
That was a good stop.
Yeah, it was 23 blocks, 700 buildings, and it was in the city's prosperous.
It's got to be the Bronx.
Yeah.
It was the city's prosperous mercantile district. The estimates of the damage range from $18 to $20 million. In today's money, that would be $529 to $588 million. So $500 million. It would probably be way more than that.
Has to be more than that, bro.
Considering what's going on.
700 buildings? Come on.
700 buildings.
In Manhattan today, that's, they're going for $1 million each down there. More. So it's more than 700 million. That's billion. You're into the billions there, bro.
Bro.
Yeah, bro. It was a good stop. Ask Patty Lee what they used to put the fire. Just like
like 288 with the church fire.
Oh, no. That one hurt, bro.
There was a parking lot around the whole three buildings.
Yeah. You know what I was going to do? I was actually going to blow up the house next to the park. Wait, that was Patty Lee's house, right?
My C4. Yeah, with my C4 after you knocked over his garbage cans.
When I saw the flames come out of the steeple, I was going to run and get the C4 and blow up his house next door as a fire stop.
That's freaking hilarious.
Will Belinsky sent me a photo here that I'm going to transfer to my computer right now, and then you guys can see it's like a cool old-timey leather helmet that I think you guys would appreciate. So stand by. You get that in a minute, but go on. Let me not.
Well, you come on. You stole the spotlight there. Now you don't have it up.
So basically, the fire lasted until it reached the East River and died out. That's what the reports have here. And like Pete said, it was 20 blocks, 700 buildings. It included a post office, the merchant exchange. Oh, it did say the stock exchange here, so maybe I was wrong. It does say the stock exchange. One church, a newly erected building that was a symbol of New York's. That was the merchant exchange. Yeah. Oh, what the hell is that?
What is that? Mine's older than that. Come on, the one I got in my head is older than that. For Christ's sake, you kidding me?
This is for Mr. Belinsky. Yo, if you want to give us,
you got a metal top. He doesn't. They didn't have that on the back in the day.
Well, there's a little crown on the very top here. It looks like a brass.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's not holding back then. I don't think they held the badge with that top.
Oh, it's from Gangs of New York. This helmet. That's what he's.
What?
So that's pretty cool. All right, how'd you get that, Will Belinsky?
This was in 1960, bro. Yep.
No, I love those helmets. Chief Haid, he's a big. I think Chief Clearhouse too. He's a big helmet guy too.
Look at the detail. Really
cool.
What?
I think your old lady is a big helmet collector.
Helmet guy, yeah. You're the one with the fucking helmets popping out every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't have any helmets hanging in my fucking room.
I do.
Yeah, the Pete's got one.
I have to. That thing is cool, man. I like running around the house with it.
So this is what they said the next morning. The next morning, the New York. So it only lasted one day. It looks like the next morning, the New York Courier.
Nothing else to burn.
Yeah, right. Enquirer published a damage assessment that reads like a document. The apocalyptic version.
Whoa.
So this one is South Street is burned down. Exchange Place is burned down. Wall Street is burned down. And Patty Lee's house is burned down. That's what it says there. That was from 1835. Patty Lee.
That front shield is smaller than Lou's forehead.
Who said that?
We doing? Oh, Mike Stallings is challenging me. He said skateboard helmets don't count. All right, Mike Stallings. This look like a skateboard helmet to you, pal?
Oh, he got his Proby helmet out. Look at him.
Such a buff.
Yes, summon bitch.
All right, so
messing with this.
Yeah, can I finish this? Can we finish?
Yes.
Then we can talk about the fucking helmet. All right, so this calamity, this is on yours, Coobs. The calamity falls principally upon the heavy importing merchants, blah, blah, blah. So this went to Congress the next morning. So basically, this guy has been bringing this to Congress about New York all this time, that he felt like this could happen for the insurers as well, for the insurance companies. So amazingly, only 2 people died in the blaze, and it basically changed New York forever. As Lower Manhattan made plans to rebuild, city planners decided to try and impose some order on the city's topsy-turvy lower section. They widened the streets and created the grid system that obviously is still there today.
I think we had that too in the what do you call it? The Quanta Cinque Quanta, where they widened the street and they moved them because they had to widen the streets. I think that was around that time, wasn't it?
That was a little later, but yeah, it was like 1880.
55 engine.
Yeah, so you know what? That might have been around that time.
Right, yeah. Well, they widened the streets and they had to move their quarters because they chopped off some of the firehouse. You know
New York learned from the firefighters' fruitless attempts to source water to fight this fire. So the city expedited plans to build an aqueduct that tapped water from the Croton River, and New Yorkers soon had access to clean drinking water that could also be used to fight fires. Soon this fire was just a memory, but the changes it imposed on the city can still be seen today. So that's kind of what we were saying, was that that changed everything. Then they put the aqueducts in all over. I mean, New York still has the best water, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they got to drink clean water, and they didn't get the diarrhea, cholera, whatever you want to call it.
Gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Horrible. So all this was, a lot of this was because of all the wood that was used in construction too, right, guys? I mean, at the time.
Yeah, I don't know when they changed that construction
code.
I bet you Chief Kleehouse knows.
He probably does know that.
Might throw that up there. I could phone a friend and ask Chief Steve.
8 truck was cut in half, and 1 half moved to where it is when they widened Varick Street.
That's right. It was right. So the street, but they cut that long ways as opposed to 55 was cut. They cut the whole front of the building off. But 8 truck, right? They took a part of that firehouse off, so that's why it's a single firehouse. Correct.
Look at that. I told you he would have it. I told you that guy has it all. He has all the answers, and he'll be telling us when he's on the show soon.
Soon. We're working on that.
We're working on him.
All right, so that's it. That's all we got.
You know what time it is, bro?
What time is it?
Hey, what time is it?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your favorite part of the show. I hope you guys come through.
Is it a 5-minute Fury today, too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why not, bro?
Really?
That's what I was thinking.
Let me get ready. I got to put my glasses on right so I can read them quickly because my eyesight's for shit.
All right, and I'm going to start. I'm going to have to come up with some sort of an intro song for 5 minutes.
Just give them a minute warm-up because they usually first like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's give them a little warm-up so they can tickle themselves a little bit, and then they'll have their big boy panties on, and they'll be able to although the one that you just said about my forehead, what was the one you just said about? That was pretty good, actually.
That front piece is bigger than the forehead.
That's pretty good, man. You son of a bitches.
Susan, you missed the beginning of the show. I laid out my old school tip of the day, and it was not to drink a half a bottle of whiskey while you're doing a podcast. So, old school tip of the day: don't get shit faced to the point where your half your face is slurring, drooping off you, and you're incoherent.
My word, Susan. My word. All right, so you guys warmed up yet? You guys have anything for us? Ready?
All right, give him on the time clock, Pete. 5 minutes of fury.
And now, 5 minutes of fury begins now.
And the winner gets a free prize. The winner gets a free prize.
We have Pete on here defending his helmet he will never use.
Oh, that's hurtful, bro.
Lou must have treated Lou before. I'm not. Am I allowed?
Fat Daddy Ray just came in the right time. Kevin's turkey legs. Oh, come on, dude. I heard that one already. Fat Daddy Ray, 5 minutes of fury. Give us your best shot, Davy Crockett. I know you're a one-shot guy, so you got to reload.
How many bags of rice, Kev, did it take to convince your wife's dad to take her from the motherland? Oh, Dan Wilson Jr. Not bad. Not bad.
Which Mike Kelly is that? That guy from Hazmat we used to play cards with, Mike Kelly?
Pocket Refrano. Son of a bitch.
Oh,
I don't know you.
They're really ripping your wife tonight, Kev. If Kevin's wife opened her eyes more than halfway, she could see the mess she married.
Oh, I like that. Who is that?
Joe G.
Put that one on the side. Put that on the side. That's a good one, Joe.
FDC.
You crazy guy, Joe.
Yeah. Wow, that's perfect. Oh man, they're really getting into your old lady. God damn, Kev.
Come on, Ray. You got to do better than that. Come on.
Where are your old lady's box Proby Pete garbage bags? Okay.
Patty Lee, you guys are pronouncing words real well tonight. Start drinking.
What are we talking about? We're talking about gonorrhea 2 minutes ago.
Oh my God! Pete puts on his helmet only because his old lady's box opens up for men in uniform.
Oh, Kev's bragging about that half bottle. It's what? I missed it. First time I remember my first beer. Oh, what the fuck that means, Chief 6'2"?
Basically, he's telling you he's an alcoholic and he needs help.
Also known as.
Oh my God, terrible! I'm not even going to read that one.
Which one? Put the sun shirt on? Come on.
Pete, is that plate carrier to go play airsoft with the ice cream customers? Yes, it is, and it's also not.
That's a pretty good one by Wayne. Not bad.
Yeah, he's got a couple. He's got a couple things working.
Yeah, which one? Yeah. Can we have the address of where you got your wife? I need a new one. I haven't spent my Trump check yet.
Look, Kev has helmets. Lou has curtains.
Yeah.
Pete, this is a compliment. Pete puts his helmet on when he needs to hose down his old lady's box.
Oh, man.
Hey, you got to role play. You got to keep it fresh after 20 years, you know?
90-day fiance. I don't understand
that. You see what Lou gets so mad when you get off topic. He goes cross-eyed like Kev during every episode. I do. I don't like to get off topic.
How many phone books did it take for you to see over the steering wheel, Kev? Kevin's old lady married him for his vision plan. That's from Ray.
Actually, she's got a better vision plan than me, bro. So.
Pete is the poster child for gonorrhea in the New York City subways. Okay. I might have been in an AIDS commercial or something back in the day.
Ken's wife says his legs are as thin as
chopsticks.
How do you know? Wait, you've never even seen my legs.
This episode is shorter than Kevin's inseam. Kevin is living proof that Caitlyn Jenner and Rosie O'Donnell had a son. The plane. Mama.
That's not bad. I like this shorter than I like Rich Anderson the best so far.
What was his?
This episode is shorter than Kevin's inseam.
No, the other one was better, bro. Was my wife opens her eyes up all the way, she sees the mess that she married. That's the best.
Yeah, all right.
Pretty good one. Kev without the whiskey is nowhere near as funny. That wasn't even 5 minutes of fury. I'll just take that as a note for the next show.
That one hurt me, man.
We must. You know what? See this? This is coming off my computer now. That doesn't exist anymore. We're done with that. Coob is the Rodney Dangerfield of the Getting Salty experience.
Thank you, Mike Kelly. No respect. But I got big shoulders, but I can take it, bro. Thick skin. Thick. Do you have any
Thick
hair
skin.
on the outside of your legs?
Gonzo saying, Kev,
So
do you have
much.
any hair on the outside of the legs? So much numbing going on with those leggy bends.
I don't get it. All right,
You know what? I wish I had. I'm going to put the sound
yes,
effect
Mike.
on.
My mother will be happy that I'm not drinking tonight. You are absolutely right.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not bad, Danny. Danny. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Alligator skin and arms. That's not bad either.
That's not bad.
Wow, guys, have you guys been drinking tonight? Because it would be nice if you guys do a little drinking before the
Well,
fight.
how about somebody get on Lou? What's it all about? Kev? What's this Hate Coobs Day? What's up with that?
It's true. They're giving Kev a lot of shit tonight.
What happened to the thick skin? I thought you could take. You got big shoulders. Take it.
It doesn't
Just
bother me.
stop. Just take it. Take it.
It's
Take
just
the
more
pain.
interesting now that they have. Well, actually, that's it.
What?
Time's up. We just rolled over 5 minutes.
No.
5 minutes of fury was weak this week because the podcast is shorter than Kevin's attention span. I wish I had my.
In Kev's defense, I actually had something else planned for tonight, but because of the holiday and I drank too much and I threw my back out yesterday playing golf, we had to convert into last minute thing. So
listen,
you got what you got. That's it.
I want to throw this out there. Let me get a little input back from my boys sitting around the table. Who wants a Fat Daddy, Henry Hank Mole, and a Chief Bro episode? Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Who wants that?
Who doesn't want that? I mean, that would be the best.
What?
This is
Refrano
a good
don't
one.
want it. Refrano don't want that episode. Who wants that? Bring it. Come on.
This is a good one that came in late. Yes, I'm drinking, Pete. Do you think I'd still watch if I wasn't hammered? Good one. I like that. That was a solid.
Scotty Lee always says that. He says, thank God for COVID because that's the only reason they lock him in the house. That's the only reason he would watch this show.
All right, Freddie Schultz. Not bad. 5 minutes of fury is what Kev gives his wife. If I'm lucky, baby.
It was a little late, bro. What happened? You were a little late. You just think about that?
Yeah. Oh, look, see how many people want it. Look how many people are asking for that, bro. Everybody, do me a favor. Whoever wants that episode, email Lou tonight. All right, that you want that episode.
Don't email me.
Nah, we definitely need that episode. So, what do we got coming up, Louis, this Thursday?
Yes, we got 30 truck. We have Keith Nicolello. I'm not sure how to say his last name. I got to call him tomorrow.
Another guinea? Another guinea?
Yeah, I don't know. All the Italians want to come on. I'm trying to get some of your Irish people on here. I don't know what's going on. All the donkeys are afraid to come on. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know
Where's
what I mean?
Mike Kelly from? Mike Kelly's got to be the guy. Mike, sound off. Where you from, Mike? Mike Kelly. Was he hazmat Mike Kelly?
Mike Kelly.
This is the Tiger King of Fire podcast, says Rich Anderson.
This is how the scenario looks for the month. We have Keith from 30 Truck. Then we have from Indiana, from Gary, Indiana, we have
the saltiest dog contest winner. Mr. Buckrup. Ghetto Buckrup. Yep.
And on the 23rd, we have Chief Don Hape coming on.
Donnie Hape.
We got a bunch of guys coming on. We're going to try and get Patty Lee squeezed in there. If you want to stick your guy, the round table you just mentioned in on a Monday somewhere, we could do that. But I got my Thursdays all lined up. So you figure it out.
All right, guys. So next Monday, we got Fat Daddy Ray, Old Man Mole, and I don't have.
Garrett's going to be on. I got Garrett. He's on the list. He's going to be on.
No, you got to get Chief Bro's number. I don't have that. Ask him if he'll come on next Monday.
I'll talk to Chief Bro. I'll call him tomorrow.
Nice. Let's get him on, man.
I tried to get Dennis Murphy on. He was one of the first go-to guys that I tried to get on.
Yeah.
But we're not feeling it. So maybe he'll change it now. But as of right now, that's a no.
Yep.
And don't email me anymore about who you think we should have. Especially you, Fat Daddy. I'll see you on Monday, punk ass.
Our email is gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com.
And I got you too, Pete. I'll forward them all to you.
Listen, I've got so many DMs coming in from the Facebook friends, so that's my
you know what else we got, bro? We were just talking about this before the show. Our old ladies are coming on, right? And also we got a funny firefighter's wife coming on. She agreed to come on. We're going to reach out to her. It's a guy from Rescue 2, retired guy, his wife, my old lady, Rosie Refrano's coming on. They're all coming on, bro. And we'll see how smart you are then. We'll see then who's telling the Asian jokes.
You don't want to mess with Kev's old lady.
She's pretty quick. She's pretty fast.
She's fast. So
fast.
All right.
She's been dealing with AK since she was about 7 in the Philippines, bro. So she's no stranger to the
third world.
Yeah.
Real talk.
She'll fucking go third world on you, bro.
All right. Is it about that time, boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. For the listening audience who are on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, and all the wonderful places where podcasts can be found, you can also find us at youtube.com/GettinSaltyExperience. Guys, take your little digits, hit the like, subscribe, and share. I know we shorted you a little bit tonight. We gave you a few minutes shy of what we normally do on a Monday night, but next Monday we're going to make up for it with an incredible
Monday. It's going to be fun next Monday. Yep.
And then, of course, for all your very last minute up-to-date information, you go to Instagram at Salty Dog Inc. But not just for that. Louis here spends a lot of his time curating some of the best salty fire photos, old school stuff, super cool stuff, really good stuff. So definitely check us out at Salty Dog Inc. Subscribe there as well, please. And last but not least, as always, the show is brought to you by Getting Salty Apparel, where you can find shirts like this, the Bronx Ben shirts, and toiletry kits that look like bunker gear, and all the other good drinking accessories just to help you guys right along, in your alcoholism in your old age. So head on over to gettingsaltyapparel.com. You guys would really appreciate it. First, do it your old ladies box. Everything is coming out. We love that shirt.
Excellent.
Last but not least, gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com. If you guys have questions and answers for our question and answer podcast, shoot us a question there. And that.
Oh, we didn't. That's right, Bryson. Who won the 5 minutes? You didn't say who won the 5 minutes.
Oh, right. Who won the 5? It has to be the guy that said when my wife opens her eyes, 3/4 of the way up. Who was that, bro? Hands down.
Joe G, FDC Engine. Joe G, FDC Engine.
He can email me. Email me your address,
we'll send you some free stuff,
and we'll get you some stuff. But don't everybody else email.
Yeah,
Susan, and then Susan in the chat there. I want a shirt like Kevin's. You can have that shirt, Susan, but we need something from you. And I think you know what it is. I'm not even going to say. Just shoot it right on over to the email.
Oh, time out. What happened to Louis? What happened to Louis? Oh, look, he's all frozen.
Oh!
Look who's into that shit in the bed. Isn't that
Mr. Hamster Wheel Internet himself? My word. And he had something important to say. Oh, here he's back. He's back. Hey.
Oh, hey, little fella. What
big thunderstorm here. Big thunderstorm up here, up in God's country.
Oh, all right. All right, fellas. Listen, we love you guys, man. This is the best show ever. Love it. Love doing it. Love having you. Best audience ever.
Seriously, appreciate
it. Get other people so we can come out to see you. Come on, let's go. And Kev's streak ends. That's right, kid. You know it.
That's it.
That's all right, bitches.
It was like when Boston won the World Series.
Oh, by the way, on the end, I know I'm not a big guy with this stuff, but if I got one email about this, I got 100. We got challenge coins being made up, so they'll probably be done in like 2 weeks. So they're pretty cool. So I did a lot of work on them. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. It. That's all I got. We'll see you guys on Thursday with Keith.
Stay low and go.
All right, boys. See you at the big one.